Hi there, Joseph Carabas here. Yeah, the Zoom lady just said recording's in progress, so I'm thrilled. We're listening to Pierre Bensoussan. If you've never heard of Pierre Bensoussan, go hear him. He plays an open D tuning, which I don't prefer. I do use it for some things I play, but it's not my go-to tuning. I realize it's got a lot of advantages, though, for certain types of music. Maybe someday I'll become more flexible. I do have enough guitars that I could have one just set to open D tuning, but I don't because I'm obnoxious that way. Enough of that. I want to chat about more on character voice and specifically using character voice to demonstrate change in a character. And of course, this is because I'm working on Fane's Eye. And the protagonist of the story, Betty, it's told from a woman's point of view. Her husband, did I say Fane's Eye? I'm sorry. Jerry and Betty. How Jerry and Betty became the least interesting couple in the neighborhood. It's been a long title. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about character voice and demonstrating change. So Betty is the protagonist. It's told through her point of view. Everything that's going on is through her eyes, although there are sections which are through someone else's point of view. But she really is the one carrying the story. The other points of view that I put in, the other sections with another character in the lead for that section, are only to provide information to the reader for what's going to be happening to Betty or to give back information about something Betty did. Enough. Betty at the beginning of the novel story, turning into a novel, I wish it wouldn't. The beginning of the story, Betty is basically with her husband, Jerry, who's just returned from a deep space flight, been in cryogenic sleep for 4.5 years. He was selected to be the first human to visit the Thorines on their planet. And the Thorines somehow knocked him out. And he was on their planet. He just doesn't remember it. He basically doesn't remember being on their planet. So he comes back. She's thrilled to have him back. My God, loving wife. Ooh, 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 my husband's back. I guess that's a male fantasy. And I apologize. However, the course of the remaining sections that I've written thus far, Betty becomes increasingly aware something's not right with Jerry. She becomes even more and more aware as the story progresses. And as she's becoming more and more aware, her tone, her language, her behaviors when speaking change. She becomes more demonstrative, more articulate, more commanding, for lack of a better term, more forthright. Also, she becomes more questioning of people, especially people in authority. Because her husband was the human selected in the NASA program, she played the astronaut's wife. And if you've ever seen The Right Stuff, you know that there's a hierarchy to such things. Even now in the Challenger days, there's a hierarchy to spouses. that follows the hierarchy of the astronauts. So she was used to playing the astronaut's wife. But now she is changing. She's changing because of the threat. And the threat is something's happening to Jerry. She's not sure what. She has no idea what. Dr. Koss, who's the lead physician with NASA, who's very closely monitoring Jerry, is being no help. And as a matter of fact, he can be obfuscating in his lack of responding clearly. I speak good English, me, huh? Thank goodness I'm not speaking in one of my foreign languages, because I have so many. I have trouble enough with English, let's face it. He's being obfuscating, which would be a simplification of saying the way he is. And she's getting really tired of that. And it was originally very clear that, oh, Dr. Koss, help me. And now it's Dr. Koss, fuck off, you evil bastard, you. The last scene that I wrote, she's in her OBGYN doctor's office. And Jerry, having returned, he and Betty had sex. Yeah, I was about to say it. I'm writing this from long memory. Anyway, they had sex. And it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable in a way it had never been uncomfortable before. It was uncomfortable in a way which alarmed her. She said nothing to Jerry. She definitely did not say anything to Dr. Koss. But something just wasn't right. She goes to see the obgyn. Surprise, guess what? She's pregnant. She suspected she was. Something's wrong with the baby. Again, no big surprises. But it's the fact that she goes from, oh, Dr. Koss, oh, Jerry, to what's wrong? And not the last line in this section, but in this section, she is very demanding of the Dr. Lillian Wilgrave. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what it is. And finally, close to the very end of the scene, she just basically goes, kill it, get it out of me right now. The fact that she goes to that point shows to me, and I'm perfectly happy to have listeners, viewers, readers, tell me I'm handling this incorrectly. But she is at the point where she knows what's wrong. She knows there's something wrong. Nobody is helping her. She's taking matter into her own hands. And that transition from demure wife to in control woman is necessary for what's happening further and further down the story. The story is kind of a science fiction horror thriller. And there have been quite a few of those. Aliens is one that comes to mind, or Alien comes to mind. But there's been quite a few of those. The original Frankenstein and some of the remakes. Frankenstein was a science fiction story, in case you didn't know. So showing that growth through the language, through the behavior as they talk to people, the confidence, even though Betty is disturbed and alarmed, she is confident in what she wants. She's not being hysterical. She's being demanding. She's being assertive. At one point, you might say she's aggressive, but not quite there yet. So One of the ways that I like, and I'm doing it now, that I prefer to show character change is through the change in the language. Um, how they phrase things, their word choice, their vocabulary, their vernacular, what they do when they speak. Do they just stand there and, patiently they'll say something and patiently wait, or are they busy doing stuff and whatever they have to say is a distraction? So blah, get away from me now. Okay. Um, that to me is a great indication that somebody has changed over time. They go from one attitude while speaking, being basically, you know, the listener, the attentive one, to I'm in control, I'm in charge. What do you want? Get out of here. I hope this has been useful to you. It definitely has clarified things in my head, which is why I wanted to do it. Plus, it's given me an indication of where I need to go next in the story. So thank you. I know that the stop recording button is down here somewhere. I'm going to look for it. There it is. Stop. Take care all. Bye-bye.